So one of the things I always get questioned about, only because, like Jim, you spend enough time around flying, you really start to understand what you can do in the field to give you the best chance for good imagery. And here's just some basic things we've learned over the last several years of flying. Number one, you see that on the left-hand side, the sun going with a little hash mark through it there. You know, when you've got those big puffy Midwestern clouds and the sun's going in and out of that, you know, that unless you've got some type of sensor or something that'll take care of that, you know, obviously when you're flying with DroneDeploy and using RGB, you need consistent light. That's one. Wind is another big issue. The ships will fly. As Jono, you'll be able to tell by the grin on his face, I test flew in about 32-mile-an-hour wind. Look at him laughing because they didn't know. I called the shop one afternoon and I said, guys, can you fly a DroneDeploy in 30-mile-an-hour wind? Listen, you can do it, but there was no imagery to be had, okay, because obviously our crops are moving. So what we've learned flying crops is I like to tell people 10 miles an hour. 10-mile-an-hour wind is pretty good unless it's a short crop and it's not moving much because the canopy is close to the ground. The other biggest thing is the sun's position. You know, 10 to 2 is going to give you the best light coming straight down from above. So that's pretty much what we've got here in flight conditions. One thing I do want to mention, if you look at that image in the lower left corner, that's a field I flew here this summer, and that was a wheat field. They had double crop soybeans in, and that bright spot you see right in the center of it, that's when the sun came out. And I honestly kind of did it on purpose because I wanted to get a good example of that. So be aware of that as well. These are kind of some of the basics.